Please stand by for the John and Gordy Morning Show. Phone lines are open right now. Call or text 608-879-8255 or use the free Civic Media app. And now, live from the Civic Media headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, here are John and Gordy. We're truly sorry.
WMDX 92.7. It's John and Gordy, at least as long as they allow us to be on the air. We'll see.
Good morning.
See. Might be today, might be tomorrow. You never know. The FCC Gestapo's coming out to take us away.
All right. coming in hot, huh? Good morning, John Peterson.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Good morning, Dominic Lee.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
I'm not at all. I'm at wit's end. I'm frustrated. I'm done with this.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people might be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hold back.
Okay. All right. Well, just hang on for a minute here.
I'll wait even longer than that.
Okay. Got cloudy skies out there this morning. 60 degrees. Highs today in the 80s, low to mid 80s, and coming up a little bit, in just a little while, Tim Slecker from Busted Pencils will join us at about 6:35. And then in our next hour, Jim Santel, former U.S. attorney, will join us around 7:35.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Are we going to carry live the sainthood
The ceremony?
ceremonies for? Well, never mind.
Good King Donald.
The thing here is, I just don't want to go off on the deep end here. I know I'm going to do it. I know it's going to happen. I'm just I bottled everything up last night. Oh man, the family. I apologize.
Really? What were you out of control?
Both Ann and I were just freaking out completely.
Well, sure.
I mean, we had just about had it. Mm. And I asked Dom this morning if he watched TV, and I have an ulterior motive for doing that. I watched TV all my life. I saw life through TV, got the biggest news stories of history through TV, and I appreciate what it has done for my generation, 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Sure.
And I'm looking at Gen Z here. I'm looking at my sons, two 20-somethings, and they don't watch TV. They don't give a damn about TV.
Yeah. Same with my daughter, who's 37 years old.
Yeah.
And my son as well, who's 41, 42.
And I've got my fingers crossed on this, that
41.
There are so many Gen Zers out there who don't give a damn about television.
Yeah, they don't.
Give it up and just leave these people dry. They have their little streaming networks. That's fine. Let them do what they're going to do. But as far as all these network shows, forget it, man. You can leave them in the dust, get rid of them. I'm done with it. I'm all over TV at this point.
You are.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, 2/3 of people don't watch local television anymore.
Yeah.
They get their news, at least for news, they get their news off of the internet. Off of streaming services, things like that. So that's just where we are now. But, it used to be a habit to watch the evening news.
Sure.
ABC, CBS, NBC in the evening, with Walter Cronkite.
Yeah.
Huntley Brinkley, the report, all of that. And then your local news, either at 6 o'clock or watch the evening news at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock.
They do great coverage of the local area.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
But with the stripped down staffs that they have now, most of these TV stations are chains, and they have taken a lot of people out. Remember, they almost got rid of all the weather people.
Almost, yeah.
And then they had to put them back because
they realized
people need weather.
People watch the weather
they
more than anything else.
They have to be warned if there's something wrong outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they made a big mistake there. But here's the thing, and this is where I'm going for the next 2 hours anyway, is drop the networks. I have Hulu Plus, and I get all of the TV shows, all of the networks.
Yeah.
And I'm dropping Plus. I'm getting rid of it. I'm not going to watch TV. I'm not going to get the networks anymore. NBC, ABC, CBS.
Really?
I'm dumping them all. They're gone. They have sold out. They have sold us all out. These are oligarch billionaires who own all of this stuff. Now they own TikTok on top of that. Now they're making a purchase of Warner Brothers, so they'll own CNN, and then they'll get rid of whatever CNN is doing. Maybe they'll just put it out of business. There's, Fox News, you got that.
Yeah.
I'm done with the networks, and I'm asking everybody out there to dump the networks. Get rid of them. Now, you can get over-the-air local television
Right.
on antennas, and I understand they're very, very effective, very, very good. Now, you have to find a way to connect that into your TV.
It's
I'm
easy.
Not quite sure how it is.
I've got one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. It goes right into your coax.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's just like cable, actually.
Okay.
The antennas.
An HDMI straight
yeah,
in?
you can do that as well.
As well, okay.
Either way, but yes.
So
and it works well.
So do that and get rid of the networks. Do not subscribe to these people. They have
Okay.
sold you and they've sold me out. I am done with that. And the thing is, they've left us high and dry. They don't care about us. They're censoring everything now. This government has taken over the FCC. Now, I didn't think that Brendan Carr would be this dangerous as chair of the FCC, but he is this dangerous. The FCC usually just sits back and lets things happen and, gives their advice from time to time. He is proactive. This guy is going after everybody and threatening them with court or with being completely taken off the air. So,
Yeah.
you would never have expected the FCC chair to do something like this, but he is on board with the Trump administration.
Well, we're going to talk about all that and what Jimmy Kimmel said that got him fired, apparently.
We're going
and
to
get into the weeds on all of that.
Yeah, we're going to do that a little after 7 o'clock because it's 6:35. We've got Tim Slecker from Busted Pencils in here.
Mm-hmm. Let's check WMDXradio.com. The poll numbers are in, John, for today. For this morning, anyway.
All right.
This will be on one more day, actually. What part of the Beltline has the worst traffic when it gets really busy? What do you think? Do you think Gammon, Mineral Point, Old Sauk Road, that area, or Midvale, Verona Road, Todd Drive, and Fish Hatch? How about that area?
That's the big one.
That is the big one. That's at 56%.
Yeah.
That gets, that's the one that really gets clogged up when it gets busy. The other ones, John Nolan Drive to the interstate, just 12%. Same thing for the entire Beltline. Sucks when it's busy. Duh.
Yeah.
12%.
Yeah.
You can get in on that as well. Hey, we want to remind you the Alzheimer's Walk is coming up, by the way. Let me just go to my information here. It is. And this is happening on October. Well, where's the date?
One of the things
Hang on
that
a
you got to
second.
keep in mind, too, that, they're trying to make
crazy.
Stoughton Road into a slow lane, a neighborhood road.
Yeah?
I mean, it's one of the only major arterials without going on the expressway to make it from one side of town to the next. And they want to make it into a boulevard, which it may not be a bad idea. You can even have higher speed limits with that. But they might want to, slow it down dramatically so people can cross the street. Well, a lot of people cross the Stoughton Road. Wow.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
A lot of people are doing that.
Yeah. Well,
Not really.
They're going to have to work on that. Back to the Alzheimer's Walk here. It's Sunday, October 5th.
Okay.
And that is happening, and we'd like to have you involved. You can either walk with us, join our team, or donate to the team. And you can do that by going to our website, WMDXradio.com. Just click on the banner in the fight against Alzheimer's.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go up to, not go up. Let's go to, I'm looking up at the screen.
Right.
Let's go to Matt from Middleton. Matt, what do you got for us today?
Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, it's a tough time in America. But kind of big reason that we got to this fascism we're suffering through is one of the big parts that leads to that is the consolidation of companies, media, all these things that have been consolidated, and both parties have caused this. Bill Clinton, I think, did something in the 90s that affected the FCC or whatever and the broadcasting. And now we have such consolidation in so many areas of the economy, and it affects housing with the private equity firms. So without Trump, maybe it would have taken longer, but we probably still would have been in some kind of fascistic light kind of system eventually. But I don't know how we get out of it other than a mass boycott of some kind. But I fear that there's so many young people that have been brainwashed by the far right propaganda, and their isolation, their loneliness, their insecurity has fed that in them.
Yeah.
So I fear that we don't have the young people we did back when we fought for civil rights in the 60s. It's not the same people.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So I think it's going to take longer to steer the ship back, and there's going to be a lot of pain and hurt in the process. And we just saw the other day that homeless people are getting shot at now because of what Brian Kilmeade said on the air about euthanizing homeless people.
That's right. And he's still on
And
the
I
air.
called into Todd Alba's show yesterday just asking, so many people, a lot of conservatives, traditional conservatives, they cannot see Trump for what he is. They cannot recognize that he is the viper that he said he was when he read that poem at the MAGA rally.
The snake,
The snake and the rabbit, right? Or whatever it was. So, it's going to be a while, but I'm afraid that we have to have a lot of pain and hurt before people wake up to this.
Well, let's hope that if the Democrats take over Congress in the midterms, they can stop all of this from happening. All of it.
I don't think we're going to make it that far.
Well,
honestly.
I know. It's hard to believe that the total media collapse has taken place as we're watching this all happen in 3 or 4 months. It's done. And they're declaring sainthood for Charlie Kirk now. This is just an amazing thing.
The only way I have to get news is YouTube. What if they go after Google? Then we have nothing.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't trust Google. I don't trust Facebook. I don't trust any of them anymore. They're all billionaires, and they're all on the Trump train.
Matt, thank you for your call.
Yeah. Thanks for helping us work through this.
Phone lines are open, 608-879-8255. Coming up, we will get into Would You Rather. What would you rather do? What would you rather do?
Mark says they're putting up a statue of Charlie Kirk in either Texas or Florida. He's not sure.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get to more of that and your calls and your texts.
Unbelievable.
It's all happening here. John Peterson, Gordy Young, along with Dominic Lee, coming right back.
It's happening. Jimmy Kimmel has been muzzled and taken off the air by his network ABC, who are buckling to and trying to appease the Nexstar media conglomerate, who have a lot of affiliates, and they threaten to preempt him at the suggestion of the SEC chair. This is government censorship. This is the Trump administration coming after people who speak
up to 20
out against him. This is the end of it. If you have any concern or belief in real freedom or the Constitution and free speech, this is it. This is the deciding moment. This is what authoritarianism looks like right now. In this country, it's happening. So if you're a free speech warrior or you really talk the talk about protecting free speech, this isn't about saying the R word or the T word or any of that. This is government censorship. This isn't fucking Twitter. This isn't people getting canceled because of a cultural pile-on. This is the United States government silencing voices that they disagree with. FCC Chair Carr put this out. This is his directive. This is the U.S. government. Look, if they can come for Kimmel, they can come for anybody. This is happening. It's time to act. Figure it out. Find a way. Come together. Push back. Because if this goes, it's over. It's over.
Charge. Goose step mama, taken by and large. While you tinker with some tailor, someone sold you to a sailor. Goose step mama, oh yeah, goose step mama.
WMDX 92.7, broadcasting from Madison, Wisconsin, overlooking State Street, a block away from the Capitol. Mm-hmm. John and Gordy in the morning, Dahmer engineer, and feel free to check us out on the Civic Media app. Choose WMDX, and then text us or voice note us as well, or just give us a call. We'd like to hear from you.
Mm-hmm. Number 608-879-8255. Warm temperatures today, low to mid-80s. Right now, 60 degrees. Madison Night Market takes place tonight. Right across the street, our WMDX booth will be set up there. And that happens from 5 to 9 tonight. The theme this evening is Hispanic Heritage Month. So stop on by and say hello. And should be a good turnout tonight. Should be nice weather.
Yeah.
Should we get to Would You Rather? Let's lighten the load here just for a moment. Just what?
Well, you know, everybody's disappointed now that South Park has to put their show off for a week.
Well, they said it was on them. Though,
yeah, it was
right?
on them. Yeah, they
do
technical... everything. No, they just do everything up to the last minute to make them very relevant. And this is one of those times where they just didn't finish it.
Okay.
So I believe them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Let's do Would You Rather.
Okay, let's do that.
All right, let's
do it.
Let's do that then.
This is Would You Rather.
Glad that has a long intro. Just builds the tension, you know.
All right. First question. Would you rather get a free travel ticket for anywhere in the world or summon an Amazon item with just the wave of your hand once a day? It could be any Amazon, maybe not any Amazon item, not like a house.
Yeah.
Maybe like just something, something that you need.
The wave of your hand.
Just the wave of your hand. Yeah. Or a free travel ticket for anywhere in the world.
Well, does that... Okay. If you do the Amazon thing, that's just a one-time only? Or
one time, well, it's every day, but you can
every day.
It's only one item a day. So you can't just keep waving your hand and stuff flies out of your... Yeah.
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 Okay. John, what do you think?
I don't know. Waving the hand.
I think I would do the same. I think I would do Amazon.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd go with anywhere in the world.
Really?
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Okay. Yeah. I like Amazon items, so I think that's what I would do. I think I bought like 4 things yesterday, so I gotta chill out. Yeah.
I know.
It's easy to do.
It is. Yes. I bought a toothpick. All right.
Wait. What?
It's like a water pick. It's not an actual. It's
Oh yeah, no, those are great.
Those things
Yeah,
are amazing.
It's
Yeah, they
very
are.
good to have.
I just broke mine recently.
Okay.
All right, second question. Would you rather have $750,000 right now or have 1 year to hit a hole-in-one in golf for $90 million? You get a whole year to do it.
$90 million.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. The first one, I
Yeah,
hate
I'd go
golf
with
so
the,
much. I
Yeah,
would
give me
never
the
do it.
cash now.
You hate golf, really?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either. Yeah, I don't like it. I think I would do 750 right now.
Now, let me ask you, what happened to the other water pick that you had?
Yeah, how do you break that?
It just stopped. It just stopped working. I kept charging it and charging and charging it. I've had it for years and years.
Oh, you have a handheld one?
It's a handheld one.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
Well, some of them are little tubs,
It's.
but you have a handheld. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that one. I mean it's really good for me though. I don't. It's the only way I floss.
I just bought one of those handhelds.
Yeah?
I think it's My Smile. I think that's the one I purchased, but they're a little messy, I think. You know, but the tub type is kind of a nice one, and if you get the water pick, you can replace the tub when that goes. You can replace the whole the hose part. You can replace that, but the machine just keeps going. So it's something that maybe you should think about. I know it costs a little bit more than some of the other brands out there, which I haven't tried, but because you can replace so many parts through water pick, seems like
rather
a
than
good deal.
buying a whole new one like I did.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to do that. But yours is handheld, so and they're very inexpensive, the handhelds. What, 18, 20,
They're about
$30?
25.
Yeah.
$25.
Hey, we got a text in here from Doug. We haven't heard from Doug in a while.
Just ask John. I'm sorry about that. Yes, Doug. Hey,
Doug from
welcome,
St.
Doug.
Francis, he
Yeah.
says Marjorie Taylor Greene wants a national divorce. You know, she has been talking about that, about just splitting up the United
Yes,
States.
yes.
Who would get custody of John and Gordy? I don't know. I know who
Yeah.
I want to have custody with. Go with the blue, but that's maybe just me.
Well, they'll ship us off
Maybe
to
it'd be more fun.
who
somewhere
knows,
else.
some location somewhere. They're not going to tell anybody. People disappear in this country now, and that's just fine. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing that we're not talking about that anymore? Right?
I know.
I mean, we lose all our freedoms like in 3 days, and we've forgotten about immigration and everybody disappearing,
And
including
the Epstein files.
American citizens.
Yeah, all that. Well, Donald Trump is over in England,
Yeah, that's
jolly
right.
old England, and
Rubbing
they're-
shoulders with the
the king.
king.
Yeah, and they're kissing up to him, because they want a better tax deal, a tariff deal. So they had that big to-do at Windsor Castle this time around. Yes, a big state dinner thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, all dressed up. His tuxedo fits a little better than it did a few years ago.
Well, maybe
Not
that's-
much, but-
well, it's he could be in bad health and he's losing weight.
And Melania was wearing like a UFO on her head. It was like one of those hats that she has.
She's brutal.
She's crazy.
She is really brutal.
It's a crazy world we lived in.
It is.
Yeah. Crazy mixed up world. Okay.
It's a crazy, dangerous world now. We don't even have a United States anymore.
Oh, hang on. It ain't over yet. 29 past the hour. We're just getting going on this Thursday morning. And after we hear a
We
few...
have Tim Flecker coming
Oh, yeah,
up
that's
from
right.
Busted Pencils. And later on, it'll be Jim Santel.
Stay with us.
Yep. Let's get him on.
Let us know when you get that Mark Maron thing.
I got it.
Okay.
Is it done?
Yep, I finished it.
All right.
All right.
All right. Tim, we don't have a country anymore. I apologize for having such a down show today.
No free speech, but so watch your P's and Q's.
It's gone. The media's,
Yeah.
kneeling before Trump.
Well, I mean,
Well, here's the thing.
we have been exploiting him for so many years. So
we have had such a free ride, all these
Yeah,
liberal programs and things, Boy. Now we're just getting, I guess they're saying that we are experiencing the blowback that normally we don't expect to get. That's what they're talking about. Of course, they never get any blowback on their side ever.
yeah, well, like you said, it's been a long time coming, and it was a good ride.
Yes, it was. Yes.
250 years almost.
It's
Yeah.
like being stuck on the roller coaster upside down while they try to fix the machine. God,
That actually happened to me.
Oh, it did?
What?
It wasn't totally upside down. It was more on that sideways tilt.
Oh, that's
type of
worse.
thing. It was, but
You got to tell that story.
yeah, it was. Yeah, and my 6'5", 250-pound brother-in-law was on the other side,
Crushing you.
Of course, yeah, and I was on the downward side of the tilt.
Oh,
so
no.
yeah,
How long did
15
that happen?
minutes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and family members were down below looking at us.
Hey, how you doing up there?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're good. You're like,
Spit drooling from your mouth.
well,
Help me.
the safety restraints appear to be working.
Now, did they have to get you out of there while it
No,
was stuck,
no,
or did
they-
they
it-
loosened it up and then away it went?
And
you enjoyed the rest of the ride.
Well, although I think the my blood pulling towards that side of my body, going from that twist right into an upside down toss. I don't know. I think maybe though too. I think it was probably a better experience than magic mushrooms.
All
right, 20 seconds.
All right.
Okay.
Welcome to the age of stupid. Stupid. Welcome to the age of stupid.
It's that. Boy. All right. Being crushed by the age of stupid. John and Gordy in the morning on WMDX 92.7 on those old radio dials. You can also listen to us on your phone or on the internet somehow. Go to the Civic Media app, pick our station, WMDX, and then listen to us or text us or voice note us and give us a call.
Mm-hmm. Phone lines are open, 608-879-8255. Weather for today, no problems. Warm temperatures again, low to mid-80s this afternoon. Right now, 60 degrees and partly cloudy skies.
I'll be sealing up the deck today.
Are you going to seal it
gotta do
finally?
it because it needs the sunlight at least one day to seal up the sealer.
Yeah.
So I have to do it early this morning. That's one of the first things I'm going to do today.
Did you take care of the stairs?
I did, yes.
Yeah?
We power washed
Okay.
them and they're dried out. Now I
Okay.
just have to apply the sealer and we'll see what happens from there.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
Keep us posted.
All right, I'll
how
keep
that
you
goes.
updated on that. Just ask John again. Thank you.
Let's welcome in Dr. Tim Slecker from Busted Pencils, the education podcast that you can hear on the Civic Media Radio Network. And just go to the civicmedia.us.
You know,
and find it there.
We're all kind of reeling from this very fast transition into fascism. And you had a program on fascism over the weekend. And just tell us about that. This is a fascinating coincidence, anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, we interviewed the president of AFT, one of the largest, teachers and healthcare unions in the country, Randy Weingarten, the president of that. And she had just released a book that's coming out, and she's going on a book tour.
Yes.
And the title of her book was "Why Fascists Fear Teachers."
There you go.
And despite the provocative title, when you get into the book, it's more a reminder of why we teach and what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to create welcoming spaces for people with differences. We're supposed to engage in uncomfortable conversations. We're supposed to, provide for the ability for everybody to have an opportunity to thrive. And then situates that as to saying, now who would be against that?
Right. Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
historically, and she points this out, and particularly, the rise of Germany in the 30s and 40s and the takeover, particularly in Norway, that that brand of totalitarianism that historians have labeled fascism was, well, guess who they targeted in Norway? Teachers. They targeted teachers, and her premise in the book is that because of those things that I laid out is that they were promoting the acceptance of people with differences. They were welcoming critical thought into the classroom. They were creating opportunities for all. And that didn't sit right. and so so the teachers were attempted to be suppressed. And the teachers, though, kind of revolted. And again, how? Just with a simple paper clip on their, lapels or everything to show their solidarity against this imposition of teaching. I mean, that's what and so, it's interesting as really the horrible events that have happened since then is to now look at the title of the book and potentially wonder if she herself may be in some form of targeting just for the fact that the releasing the book. But again, it's really just a nice historical look at teachers, and then a sense of kind of grounding about saying, isn't this what we want our teachers to do? And so I don't think there's anything provocative about imagining that teachers create spaces that are welcoming for all, because we live in communities where there are people who have all kinds of differences. And in a school classroom, in a school building, which we want to and attempt to create spaces that say, for that moment, your differences are welcome here.
Yeah.
So
one of the things that I brought back our protests here in Wisconsin with Act 10. How many children showed up with the teachers and supported the teachers during those protests, and the children back then who wore the paper clips to support their teachers too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But as you point out, though, it's how it's truly within, that show actually was released Saturday. We had recorded that show before, the horrendous assassination of Charlie Kirk, and all of now then, the what's happening because of that. And so, it's even me. I'm framed. I kind of look at that show differently because I have a sense that potentially that it's may sound to somebody something like, I don't know. It's but it's a talk. And again, it's Randy's. It's a book tour, and she's out on a book tour. So,
the fun thing is that Randy Weingarten is very, very energized. When she's talking about this on your program, at least on Saturday, people can still check that out, of course, on a podcast. But it is very interesting stuff, and your reactions and Johnny's reaction as well was very informative. I enjoyed that program an awful lot. So definitely, people should check that one out.
And again, like I said, nothing. Just really, you're talking about good teaching and learning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's really what it's all about.
Yeah, we're talking about good teaching and learning, and and that's really what we've been all about with Busted Pencils, is really talking about what it is that energizes, empowers learning, because a society benefits when people have the opportunity to learn deeply about all kinds of things. And so I'd encourage people though too for this Saturday show, because we're interviewing what we would typically call a principal, but head of schools from the Alpha High School in Austin, Texas, and that's the 2-hour learning, the AI school, where they spend. Well, in the high school, he let us know, Chris Lockey's the head, they spend 3 hours of AI individualized instruction, and then the rest of the day engaged in working with, and they don't call them teachers, they're guides, on enrichment activities, engagement activities, digging deep into creating businesses. And, we wanted to put that show on so that people could look at and say, wow, that's powerful stuff. AI, it's like, okay, some people are debating, should we or shouldn't we? And here you have a school, the Alpha School. And again, we're talking, Mackenzie Price, the founder of this idea of what 2-hour learning in the Alpha School is she, she addresses a problem that everybody knows in education, which is, sadly, for every year you spend in a classroom after second grade, your engagement with school declines. Because school has become largely, for the past 120 years, it hasn't really changed a lot. You sit and you hear, and then you are asked to spit back.
Yeah.
And guess what? That ain't real attractive to humans. And we said you enter school in kindergarten bursting with, oh my God, I want to know everything.
Yeah.
First grade, you keep going, second, and then all of a sudden by third grade, kids start to go, what's going on here?
Well, it's so methodical, right? I mean, you have to start from the beginning and
wait a minute.
end.
I woke up in the morning with all kinds of questions, and I came into this place, and you told me to sit down, shut up, and stop thinking. And so they move in a direction at the Alpha School that says, you know what? Yeah, there is knowledge. And we need to learn to read, we need to learn to do math, and we need to learn to do all these other things. But if we will really want to get to the depth of, and I'd even say what Randy was talking about in her book, which is engaged, deep, critical learning, then we have to have that space there, and and a freedom. A freedom to explore and engage the questions that we have. And So I think it's a nice positioning to, to go from the interview with Randy about her book, about, what it is that we as teachers do, and then to listen Saturday to, a movement. Maybe people are calling what they're doing with the Alpha schools, but really taking seriously that sense of saying, in these spaces, we're going to do everything we can to engage students, to engage our teachers and our guides in this community effort, this whole thing about deeply learning and continuing to be engaged and motivated, and tap into that, what it is about most humans, which is curiosity.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you kind of brought up the idea of maybe group learning. That's what they do in the schools now to get everybody involved. So you're not waiting for a teacher to ask the question and then pick a student out in the classroom. Everybody gets to answer the question all at once in these groups. And I think that's probably the idea behind group learning in the schools currently. Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, part of that is, and some of the idea of group learning too is that, yeah, with within a group there are differences, learning style
Right,
differences,
exactly. Mhm.
and those learning, could be something as simple as, well, this person doesn't know as much and this one does, and so they learn off of each other.
Yeah.
Um, but again, what is the purpose? And I think this is what we're kind of getting at. What is the purpose of education? It's to gain knowledge, but it's also to engage the world.
Exactly. We're talking with Dr. Tim Slecker from Busted Pencils. We'll continue our conversation in just a moment here on WMDX.
There's one thing that I will say to you. I'm not like everybody else. 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 And I don't want to run around like everybody else.
Dress.
No.
We can do anything with that. I don't know.
Well, let's mention it. But let's bring that up. And Jill Underley is going to be presenting her education message today.
State of Wisconsin education.
And what I wanted to kind of get into is some of the cuts that took place, some of the funding. That are you familiar with anything that's going on in regards to funding cuts to education, college, and in K through 12? At all?
Yeah, there's cuts everywhere you look, something, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're referring specifically, but
I don't have any specific
yeah,
programs or anything like that.
there was there was one I was reading about this morning, which is interesting, but a lot of civics education funding is being cut nationally.
I was surprised by that. Republicans were really hot on civics for about 10 years there, just driving it home. You can't graduate until you take a civics test. So there's a cut for civics.
There's that, and then there's also a story of...
Well, let's wait. We're kind of blowing it out of here. Let's talk about this when we come back.
Yeah, because our promoter of A1 has got something to say.
baby, where the action is.
WMDX, John and Gordy in the morning.
That's it. 6:53. We're seeing some sunshine breaking through the clouds. We'll see a mix of both sun and clouds today. Highs in the low to mid 80s. Talking with Dr. Tim Slecker from Busted Pencils. Tim, today is the day that Dr. Jill Underly, the Wisconsin State Superintendent, will give an address on Wisconsin public education, students and educators and more. And that's happening today. The state of education, that's kind of what your program's all about every week.
Yeah, wow.
And,
The thing is, Tim, they don't fund education here in the state anymore. I think the last budget didn't have any money at all for public schools.
I mean, sometimes, starving pushes you into a survival mode. And in that survival mode, sometimes you can accomplish great things.
Yeah.
So maybe, that's the lever they're trying here, is to go, you know what, we're going to motivate people by making them not have what they need, which will make them dig deeper than ever. I'm just
Nice try.
Work with me here. Come on.
Nice try, Tim. It didn't work, though. I'm not falling for it.
Okay.
All right, well, let's talk about some of the cuts. The Department of Education, which doesn't exist, but still we're referring to it, is cutting funding for all educational programs. In some cases, the funding is only like 20% of the actual funding that they're cutting. But that 20% is probably the major funders or the major colleges that need the funding. See, they try to soften the blow by saying, well, 80% is still going out there and funding all these programs, but maybe the big ones, the big programs are the 20%, penalizing a lot of the colleges out there from getting the research grants that they need. So a lot of these things are happening, and so now everybody's in, again, survival mode, trying to figure out what they're going to do next in all of this.
Well, yeah, that way the real priorities will come to the surface, and we won't have any waste and excess. We
have to portray a more positive image of the country in math, in English, in science, right?
Well, I mean, maybe we can fund or defund the releasing of negative math and reading scores.
There you go.
Which would then make the math and reading score crisis go away.
Yeah. That seems to be the theory with a lot of things.
But no, I mean, you're talking about there are some significant cuts that are going through. I think, one I'm looking at this morning is and this goes back to K-12 and colleges, is that money that was allocated for grants to enhance civics education has been, radically cut.
Which is crazy, isn't it? Because the Republicans were hot on this for about 10 or 15 years, requiring it for graduation in those high schools. Now they've cut it.
I don't know. And this is, it has become the idea that civics is partisan, right?
Yeah.
Is like how did that happen? And well, it's happened, and
yes, it has.
Because while this cutting to those programs is happening, just 10 hours ago on NPR. U.S. Education Department unites conservative groups to create, quote, patriotic civics content.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Okay.
And
there's a difference. I don't know.
Well, but that's it, and so it's civics, and so it's patriotic civics. I guess going back to Randy Weingarten, is there fascist civics? Is there communist civics? Or were we talking about, core democratic values, right?
Yeah.
Because if we're now putting, some form of patriotism as quote civics, right? And
Yeah,
Johnny always points this out on the show. Yes, patriotism is a core value of democracy, but within that, though, too, is a respect for diversity, doing what is good for the commons. You put all that together,
Yes.
right? And so labeling civics as patriotic, it pushes it into, and now I'm gonna call this and say, well, that is intentionally moving it away from what we would say wanting to install core democratic values, because it is lifting up one sense of what civics means here. And so labeling it patriotic civics, well, then everything, I guess you could say, is that then we could label it and then we lift it up and now we own it. And I think that's a violation of, again, trying to say we want to invite people with differences to talk about things that are crucial.
That's right.
That's it.
And at the same time, they say they want differences.
Tim, we got to leave it there.
Hey.
It's Dr. Tim Slecker. Check out the podcast, Busted Pencils.
I refuse to go sad and negative with you guys today.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, you have done that.
We
Tim.
appreciate that, Tim. Very good. We'll talk to you next Thursday.
Yep.
We will be back with more of John and Gordy for this Thursday morning after a time out here for news and weather and updates
and stuff.
Yeah.
Just stuff.
Big stories coming up next.
All right, Tim.
All right,
Wonderful.
All right, guys. Well,
Appreciate it.
I wish we could have cried together on the air, but
Hey, enjoy the rest of the day.
All right.
We
All
will
right,
try.
guys. Later.
Thanks, Tim.
Yep, see ya.
For children, ABC's Jay O'Brien.
After an overhaul by HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the nation's top vaccine advisory panel now set to begin weighing critical recommendations on vaccines covering everything from measles to hepatitis B to COVID. Kennedy recently firing all of the committee's members, stacking it with people he handpicked, several who have voiced vaccine skepticism.
Yesterday, the former head of the CDC said she was fired by Kennedy because she refused his order to pre-approve new vaccine recommendations. Jimmy Kimmel Live preempted indefinitely by ABC over comments that Kimmel made regarding the Charlie Kirk shooting. Unions representing those in the entertainment industry have condemned the move. Disney, the parent company of ABC. And this is ABC News.
You're listening to 92.7 WMDX, Madison's home for the Todd Albaugh Show, weekday afternoons from 2 to 4.
For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. The encampment at Dairy Drive is closing. The resource first opened in 2021 using money from pandemic-era federal grants with 29 tiny home shelters. It gave people experiencing homelessness a stable place to stay and privacy. It was supposed to be temporary, and the city has extended the contract twice since then. But now that federal grant money has run out. The Dairy Drive encampment was set to close September 30th. There was a last-ditch effort to keep it open until the spring, and that measure was considered at Tuesday's Common Council meeting. More than 70 people registered to speak in support of extending it, including some residents of Dairy Drive.
My name is Stacy. Dairy Drive has provided me with a stable place to live. Even though it's not a 3-bedroom house, it's still my home, and it works for me. I'm able to have visitation with my son, where I can make him food, play basketball, and take him to the park. This place is showing my kid how to care for each other.
It was a long night. Alders didn't vote until after 1 a.m, and the vote was tight. Ultimately, the measure failed by just one vote. And now Dairy Drive will be closing September 30th. And you can expect some major traffic in the Oregon and Brooklyn area tonight. About 13,000 people are expected to go see Luke Bryan at Klondike Farms in Brooklyn tonight. The show starts at 6 o'clock. The sheriff's office says if you're going, build in some extra time. If you're not going to the show, but you need to be in that area, they say you'll probably want to find a detour. The sheriff's office and other law enforcement agencies will be there directing traffic. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. This is 92.7 WMDX News.
The magic number is 6. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with Sports Baseball. The Brewers one step closer to locking up the Central Division with a 9-2 win over the Angels at AmFam Field. They go for the sweep today. Blake Perkins with great play in center field and 5 runs batted in. Perkins on what it meant for him after the game.
I mean, definitely like confidence boost, being able to come through for the guys, that's always big. I mean, all these guys support me every day. It's good to have some results go my way.
College football, the Wisconsin Badgers and Maryland Terrapins this Saturday at 11 a.m. Camp Randall Stadium in Madison. The Packers, with their first road trip, face a tough Browns defense in Cleveland. Right tackle Zach Tom was out last week after suffering a bruised hip and thigh.
It's kind of hard to run. That's the main thing. I feel like moving side to side, I'm good, but anything that involves me trying to get out and open up, then I can kind of feel it a little bit. But we just got to work through it.
That's Packers offensive tackle Zach Tom with sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
92.7 WMDX, Madison's real news and great conversation, and home to the Todd Allball Show, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly sunny, warm and muggy with a slight storm chance today and a high in the mid-80s. Better chance of storms tonight, low in the low 60s. More storms around Friday, high upper 70s. Rain chances continue into the weekend. Currently, it's 59 degrees.
Oh, this is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio. On our show, we share stories from Turtle Island highlighting the people and issues shaping our communities. From protecting water to treaty rights and preserving languages and traditions, we cover it all. Hear voices like Arvina Martin of Emerge, Wisconsin, Dr. Stately, Robert Lilligren, and more. Because Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Native Roots Radio, weeknights at 8 on your local civic media radio station.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for youth.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals into your body.
And nicotine, which can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media.
Many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping.
Because when you talk, they hear you.
Have a cup of coffee, sit back and relax. It's time for John and Gordy on WMDX.
Hey, yeah. That's us.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all right there in the song.
Yep, that's it. Good morning, Madison. That's it. John Peterson, along with Gordy Young and Dominic Lee in the producer chair. We've got partly sunny skies now and 60 degrees. Highs this afternoon in the low to mid 80s. Maybe a passing shower along the way.
Suppose you expect me to blow up again, just like I did initially at the beginning of this show.
Well, that's kind of what you do. I mean, that's kind of your thing. That's what you've been known for over the years.
Shortening my life, Gordy. Please. I don't want to go through this very often.
Well, you've been doing it 30 or 40 years. Why stop now?
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Maybe it just energizes me. Keeps me going. Looking forward to the next day.
Okay. Coming up in a little while, we'll talk to former U.S. Attorney Jim Santel.
Well, we were talking about how the media completely capitulated to this administration. Completely. It is done. It is all over. Fold up the tents. It's done. This is all over. Our free media that we had at one time is done. They went after the major networks, the networks over the air networks, using the public airwaves.
They've gone after 60 Minutes. They've gone after ABC and Disney before, and now they're doing it again. Jimmy Kimmel. Off the air.
Yes.
At least for the time being.
Probably forever.
Probably, but we don't really know that. All right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're pretty assured that it'll probably be a longer time than any of that. ABC just did this immediately, quickly, without any forethought. We played the clip yesterday.
Well, let's play it. The clip that got Jimmy Kimmel fired, right?
Right. Let's play it right here.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish.
Yeah.
So that's it. Yeah.
So did anybody hear any lies in there that Jimmy Kimmel told? I mean, that was the whole point of the disagreement over Kimmel's show right there. Mega pundit Benny Johnson thought there were a lot of untruths in all of that. And in fact-checking it ourselves this morning, just a few moments ago, I didn't hear any lies or anything horrific in it whatsoever, but ABC said, pull that guy. So anyway, Benny Johnson then reached out to FCC Chair Brendan Carr for a comment. Well, he got more than a comment, so let's listen to Cut 126. Listen.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to
That's
characterize.
what we just heard. Hang on.
Oh. Let's see here.
You got it there, Tom? Okay.
And frankly, when you see stuff like this, I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or, you know, there's going to be additional work for the FCC. Again, there's actions that we can take on licensed broadcasters. And frankly, I think that it's really sort of past time that a lot of these licensed broadcasters themselves push back on Comcast and Disney and say, listen, we are going to preempt. We are not going to run Kimmel anymore until you straighten this out, because we licensed broadcaster, are running the possibility of fines or license revocations from the FCC if we continue to run content that ends up being a pattern of news distortion. So
that's Brendan Carr, the chair of the FCC, an activist, essentially. The FCC normally just sits back and lets things happen. They give their advice, but they don't necessarily go out there and threaten the networks like this.
Well, and part of that is there's a deal on the table between Nexstar Media Group and to acquire Tegna, which is another big media group. Nexstar owns a ton of ABC stations, local stations, and that deal has to be approved by the FCC.
Yeah.
So that deal's on the table, and they say, oh, well, hold on a second. You know, we're not going to approve this until, you maybe, let's put the pressure on ABC to get rid of Kimmel. And that deal has yet to been approved. So, you know, what can you do for us, ABC, before we approve this Nexstar deal?
And a lot of the affiliates of ABC refuse now to play Kimmel, to have them on their network. In their local markets.
Yeah.
Which is really, really odd for something like this. Yeah. So we're just kind of watching the media fold their tents before our very eyes,
Should we play Mark Maron's comment?
Yes, Mark Maron took the words right out of my mouth. Let me just say that this is exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. This came out
again. He's in our age group, and he has the same perspective. Yeah. So let's listen to Mark Maron.
Just came out a few hours ago.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. It's happening. Jimmy Kimmel has been muzzled and taken off the air by his network ABC, who are buckling to and trying to appease the Nexstar media conglomerate, who have a lot of affiliates, and they threatened to preempt him at the suggestion of the SEC chair. This is government censorship. This is the Trump administration coming after people who speak
up to 20
out against him. This is the end of it. If you have any concern or belief in real freedom or the Constitution and free speech, this is it. This is the deciding moment. This is what authoritarianism looks like right now. In this country, it's happening. So if you're a free speech warrior or you really talk the talk about protecting free speech, this isn't about saying the R word or the T word or any of that. This is government censorship. This isn't Twitter. This isn't people getting canceled because of a cultural pile-on. This is the United States government silencing voices that they disagree with. FCC Chair Carr put this out. This is his directive. This is the U.S. government. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look, if they can come for Kimmel, they can come for anybody. This is happening. It's time to act. Figure it out. Find a way. Come together. Push back. Because if this goes, it's over. It's over.
And
Mark Maron.
Yeah, Mark Maron, a comedian, podcaster as well. And I said this morning that I'm disconnecting my networks. You get like a Hulu Plus or YouTube TV. Mm-hmm. You get all the stations. I'm cutting the cord on this one. This is it. I'm done. I'm not going to play into this. I'm not going to give them the money.
Yeah, when they go after the comedians, like they went after Colbert and now Kimmel, and who's next? Jimmy Fallon in the works. Where does this end now?
Yeah,
they're going to go after NBC and Saturday Night Live, and when you go after the comedians who are there just to provide satire and really poke fun, but also more people are getting their news from like the Daily Show. Boy, it'd be interesting to hear what they have to say about
what'll
it.
happen to them. Tim from DeForest says, I love listening to you guys in the morning, but you need to get rid of ABC National News Feed at the top of the hour. Hashtag boycott ABC. Yeah. I'm boycotting them all. I'm cutting the cord. That's what I think everybody should do when it comes to this. You want to go to Catherine?
Yeah, let's. Catherine Lake is on the line here. Catherine? Good morning.
I almost hung up. I don't know what to say. I can't believe this is happening.
Right.
And here's my concern. Mm-hmm. When you say boycott ABC, when our listener says boycott ABC, and we have ABC on our station, and I get why he's saying that, of course, an NBC capitulating on Colbert, CBS capitulated first a while ago.
Yeah.
I don't blame you, but there are other voices on those networks still doing the good work, right?
Mm-hmm.
There must be. So cutting them off, despite our own faces, that's my concern.
Well, no, yeah, I think you've got a really good point. I mean, these are news people still dedicated to news, mm-hmm. and I don't see any influence or any problem with. Of course, we know for a fact that most of these newscasts do rein it in a little bit. They don't want to say anything too controversial. So, but all the networks are doing that now because of Trump. So, we got to have somebody to go to, so.
Right. Well,
yeah.
we have us. We have Civic Media, thank the goodness.
Yeah.
But part of me, when I heard the cut that got him fired.
Yeah. There's nothing there.
Our station, there's nothing there. So now I want to ask you guys to say whatever words are said that are getting people taken off the air, we should start saying those words. We should repeat it. We should play Jimmy Kimmel every morning until they figure out what the flip is going on.
Wow, not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah. We should do that.
Good luck.
Okay.
All right.
We've got to protest in some way. I'm just going to cut the cord, and I ran it by my kids. They don't watch TV. Gen Z doesn't watch much TV anyway, and you can watch some of the streaming services where a lot of the free stuff is on there, maybe with a few ads. That's cool, but just get rid of the major networks. They're done for me.
Let's go back to the phones. Mark is on the line, 608-879-8255. Mark, we got a couple of minutes here. What do you got?
Yeah, well, I heard Kimmel's comment, and I've heard it before. I can't remember where I heard it, but hearing it again, I hear nothing in that to indicate any disparagement of Charlie Kirk or minimizing what happened. What it does show to me is the complete heartlessness of the completely uncaringness of Donald Trump, the complete self-absorption of the man, saying, I'm going. He didn't even address Charlie Kirk's slaying.
Right.
He said, look at my big old beautiful dance floor here where he paved over the Rose Garden.
Yeah.
For the love of God. I mean, we've wanted this dance floor for 150 years. I mean, it is just the callousness and maybe it's not even callousness on Donald Trump. He is just completely unaware that other people actually exist other than to serve him and to service him.
Yeah, it's very thin-skinned to any satire or humor. Too.
That was just
directed at him.
It was just amazing that he didn't spend any time reflecting on Kirk at all. None.
Yeah, and you can't even call it satire because it was just reporting what he actually said.
Yep.
I mean, he made a satirical comment at the end. I mean, well, look at this.
Right.
I mean, the man simply does not care about even his allies.
Yeah. Mark, thank you for that call. We've got...
we're in agreement on that.
Yeah. We're going to continue here. Brittany Merlot is right around the corner. We'll get a weather update. And also in our next half hour, we'll talk to attorney Jim Santel. It's all coming up on John and Gordy on WMDX. HearingAidCenter.com. Don't let your hearing loss frustrate you anymore. They help John and Gordy hear better, and they can help you too. Madison Hearing Aid Center.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Is your computer so slow you can hardly use it? Does it have blue screens, malware, viruses, reboots, hardware crashes? Sound familiar? Computers will have problems, and when they do, you need the computer experts at Madison Computer Works. Every day we help home users and businesses keep their computers and networks running smoothly. For solutions to your computer problems, call the pros at 231-8000, and we'll turn this into this. Madison Computer Works. Computers that work for you.
WMDX 92.7. It's John and Gordy in the morning.
22 past the hour. The Wisconsin Book Festival is happening in Madison, October 23rd to the 26th. It's bringing together authors and readers of all ages and interests. Don't miss out on New York Times bestsellers Jane Hamilton or Mary Roach, alongside dozens of others as they gather for readings and conversations about their writing this fall. Again, the Wisconsin Book Festival, October 23rd to the 26th. You can find out more at WMDXradio.com. Let's check in on weather, and with that, our WMDX meteorologist, Brittany Merlot. Good morning, Brittany.
Hi.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Weather-wise, it's looking good out there this morning.
Yes.
Sunshine here. We've got a few clouds. How is it in Wausau?
It is mostly cloudy. It's not looking that pretty, but it's all right. No rain here at the moment. We've got scattered showers far up north, so it's nice to be dodging that. And you guys get to stay beautiful and pretty all day.
Yeah, you don't think any of that rain's going to reach us, huh?
I really don't. Maybe overnight, possibly. But then again, I think maybe early tomorrow morning you could see a sprinkle or two, and then it really starts to ramp up tomorrow night. And of course, into the weekend, unfortunately, it's going to be a wet one.
What's the matter, John?
How sure are you about rain in the morning tomorrow?
What? Why? Do you have something going on?
Well, yeah, I'm
You got a golf date or something? You're doing the deck?
I've got to seal up the deck
man.
early this morning, so I get some sunlight
It is a teeny tiny chance, so don't worry.
Yeah.
I think you're okay.
All right, good. Thanks.
Okay, so go ahead and do that, and then if it rains, you can blame Brittany.
Yep.
You can come back and do it again for me.
No pressure.
All right.
I could.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
How many
all right.
clicks you got to put on that thing?
Just one.
Just one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. What about the upcoming weekend? How's that shaping up?
Well, it's going to start to get windy, that's for sure. Wet and stormy on Saturday. Highs at about 78 degrees. We hold that same high temperature for Sunday, but then at Sunday night, I think it's going to see some heavy rain moving through, where we could pick up 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rainfall. So a dark and damp weekend, unfortunately. Bah.
Okay. All right.
Well, we kind of need the rain, I think, right? So.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not in a drought, but I mean,
it's not the growing season here, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
The farmers, they want to get their crops in and everything. So I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Brittany, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
The depressing weekend.
I know. I wish I had better weather.
Okay.
All right.
All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning
Okay.
if it doesn't rain. Okay. Okay. That's
right.
Brittany Merlot, our WMDX meteorologist. Thanks, Brittany.
So we're talking about the media completely folding for the Trump administration, and Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, Carrie, texted us out in Tosa. She said, Brendan Carr, the individual President Donald Trump chose to chair the FCC, wrote the actual chapter on the FCC for Project 2025. Project 2025 is a conservative policy initiative from the Heritage Foundation, which outlines in detail the plan for the potential Republican takeover.
What a coincidence.
Yes. How strange is that? We've got an activist chair that is going to do something about woke networks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go with Joe. Joe, what do you got for us today?
Good morning, Joe.
I think that Mark Moran, what he had to say was absolutely right on the money. It's starting in a very, very obvious way what's ahead, which is when your FCC chair says, we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Yeah.
It's like the mafia.
Yeah, I know.
I know. It's like a Sopranos line.
Yeah, the changes from this are rather interesting. Someone was suggesting that because certainly Colbert got his walking papers and immediately struck a deal with Netflix, a very lucrative deal. And I think someone had suggested that it's very possible for Kimmel to be into the situation of being one of the top podcasters in no time at all. And he was comparing it to Joe Rogan, who's pulling in like $60 million a year. And he's pulling in $60 million a year for a show that he owns. He has editorial control over it, doesn't have to commute to work, and I think the full editorial control is going to be extremely attractive. He's making, I think, around that is, Kimmel is making about 16, 17 million a year, I think, for his hosting jobs. If he could push up with what Rogan is doing, even half of what Rogan is doing, to 30 million a year, or what Rogan is doing, 60 million a year. I mean, they're just breaking up the beast that they have. They have this broadcast galaxy. Why do you splinter it? Why do you take something that's making money for you in the most innocuous way to take offense over those comments? Wow, he ain't seen nothing yet. I mean,
I know.
He's going to get going.
Yeah.
So it's broadcast is in an interesting place, and I just can't understand splintering something that you've got going and that's generating money for you. It's amazing to me. Yeah. So take care, guys.
All right, thank you,
Joe. Thanks for that.
Brendan Carr, chair of the FCC, said this after Kimmel was pulled. This is his words.
Okay.
One thing that President Trump did when he ran for office, he ran directly at that legacy media establishment. This is the chair of the FCC.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay.
See anything there? He smashed a facade that they get to control what we say, what we think, the narrative around events. Really? They really control that? Or do they just report it? See, this is how they spin all of this. He also wrote, we're seeing a lot of consequences that are flowing from President Trump doing that, defunding both NPR and PBS, as well as the retirement of Stephen Colbert. Joy Reid is out on MSNBC. Terry Moran is gone from ABC. On and on.
Yeah.
That's what he said. That's how he looks at it. This is the chair of the FCC. He's going to threaten all the networks and rein them in.
That's it. 7:29 news is straight. Or I'm sorry, the Midwest Food and Farm Report is straight ahead. And when we come back, we'll be talking with former U.S. Attorney Jim Santel. We'll get his take on the freedom of speech issues going on in our world. Stay with us.
Hello, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Gentlemen, how are you this morning?
Not good.
Right, yeah.
Right. Worried about our freedom of speech.
Quick. Exactly, right?
Yeah, we don't have that anymore. The networks have, they're going to tone down everything. They're not going to say anything anymore.
Right, and it just, and to what end, right? As Joe was just indicating, where what is your long-term goal on all this, right? If you're part of the media, where are you headed with this? What's tomorrow bring, right? But for your own demise is the point, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just stunning, And my sister texts me this all the time, is Seth Meyers next? And, right, who's next on the chopping block here? And so anyway, we can chat about some First Amendment stuff, absolutely.
Yeah, this is, this is one of the most scary things that I think has happened. If you lose this part of it, which is the most obvious part, the part that people watch,
right?
Then you lost it all, because then the message is different.
It's controlling the information, right?
Yep, those who control the information.
Right. Exactly.
In fact, Brendan Carr even said that. Let me see. But in his eyes, it's a good thing.
Right. And again, you say that, and people think, okay, well, he is in a position of authority in government, so he must know. He must know, right? I don't know these things, but he must.
Yeah, the facade that they get to control what we say, and it's only in their minds. Their minds, their paranoid minds. I truly believe it's paranoia, and I don't know if there's some kind of medical term for it, because RFK Jr. had the same thing, paranoia. People are being paid to say these things. We can't have vaccines because people are gaming the system. The doctors are owned by, it's always this paranoid feeling.
Right.
Same thing with Trump. Everybody's out to get him. Everybody's trying to screw us. It's paranoia. We're being eaten alive by paranoia.
Anyway. It's conspiracy theory is just another way of describing it, right? That we always used to say in my other life, when I was with the government, that I know how difficult it is to put together an effective conspiracy. They just never work, right? Just because you've got so many people, so much involved, and just the notion that everybody would agree to again attack a certain portion of the population. Conspiracies, people talk, right? By their very nature, they never ever work. And anyway, it's kind of a collateral perspective on this, but it's
10 seconds. 10 seconds.
WMDX, John and Gordy in the morning with Dom at the controls.
It is 7:35, sunshine now in Madison. Highs today in the low to mid 80s, and temperatures in the low 60s to start things out this morning.
It's a perfect morning to talk to Jim Santel, Amicus Law Review, and find out what the hell is going on with the FCC and how legal is any of this. Is anybody going to challenge this in court? Jim, please. Give me the good news.
Give us a ray of hope here, Jim.
Well, next year we celebrate 250 years of the United States of America, if we make it that long.
We're not going to make it that long.
Right. We're wondering about the end of this week, right?
We had Constitution Day.
Take it one day, right?
The last celebration of Constitution Day was yesterday.
Right.
We should have celebrated
September
a little bit more.
17th, when that document that was signed and the very first article executed and issued by our very first Congress said, Congress shall make no law respecting, among other things, the freedom of speech or the freedom of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, petition government for redress of grievances. And the reason why that was there is that James Madison needed to get the Constitution passed, and he committed to saying that in the Constitution and getting it done by virtue of the first Congress saying just that. For what it's worth, the word Congress in the First Amendment has been interpreted appropriately to meaning government, and that includes things like public school boards and public schools and all those kinds of things. So it's not just that limited, but that's the basis for this. And of course, there's a huge amount of litigation that has followed from that, describing what you can. And there are limits on the First Amendment, as we always say on this wonderful broadcast. Yeah. But the notion once again was that we want to make certain that the king, the king at that time does not restrict us in saying what we want to say, and we've got the capacity to publish things in the public domain and talk about these things. It was a specific redress and response to what King George was doing. And again, speaking about Constitution Day, John, yesterday we had Sonia Sotomayor at New York University bemoaning the fact that we do not understand that. And she says, I'm wondering if people today understand the difference between a king and a president. Do we understand that difference? She said, I think if people understood these things from the beginning, they would be more informed as to what would be important to a democracy. First Amendment, hugely important to a democracy. You understand that we do not have a king who, through his FCC chief, can say these things, accomplish these things. We've got a balance of power, at least we used to, and we've got mechanisms to ensure that people do have the right to speak, that people in broadcast, including civic media, have the right to speak and to voice views. We can say things in America, very important to note, that are offensive, that are again, not within the public general view, that are unpopular. We can say popular things as well. That's what the First Amendment is all about. You don't have to like what you hear on ABC or other places, or CBS or other places. You simply have to acknowledge the right to say that, absent any advocacy to violence. That's where the line is crossed. We're nowhere, well, in many ways we are, but on these issues, again, Jimmy Kimmel not advocating violence, Stephen Colbert not advocating violence here, absolute right to say these things. And we've got these major entities that are basically saying, First Amendment, not so much, let's bring all this down. It is a reason to be hugely, hugely concerned. A day after Constitution Day, celebrating what happened in 1787.
Well, you know, we've got an administration filled with cartoon movie supervillains, basically. You know, every time I see these people, I just can't believe they're in charge of anything at all. And I'm just, you know, softly peddling that. The other news is that Jerry of Ben and Jerry's quit because he was being silenced for his activism by Unilever. So he is no longer part of the Ben and Jerry product line.
Well, they're just going to call it Ben's ice cream now?
I don't know. I don't know.
Change the logo.
I don't know what's going to happen now. That's crazy. And then, of course, the Department of Justice removed a study showing white supremacists and far-right violence continues to outpace all other types of terrorism and domestic violence extremism in the U.S. They deleted that. Right. They took that off because they didn't want anybody proving that that's true.
Right.
Because
and we see that across
just
government once again. One of the wonderful things about the internet it used to be that government published things, again, that may not be happy news to everybody, but the important thing that government does is tells us what the truth is and exposes us once again to perspectives that suggest we've got a lot of work to do in America, especially the Department of Justice, right? And so when you begin to take those things down, again, it is an overt infraction of the First Amendment accomplished by a government that does not want us to know. And one of the other things, of course, Ben and Jerry, all these other situations where people get up and leave, it raises this other fundamental issue. And I recognize being in government, I never had to face this because I worked for people like Janet Reno and Eric Holder who did not, and Barack Obama and Bill Clinton and other people who did not do these kinds of things. But the question for so many government people who know what the law is, who are there to provide service to Americans is, do I continue to fight the fight internally? Or do I leave as a protest because it's no longer tolerable? And when they leave, we are diminished. I understand completely the decision to get out and say, I cannot be a part of this anymore. We saw that, of course, at the CDC, although, again, the director may well have been fired by RFK Jr. But when these people leave, the experts, the people who know what they're doing, government is diminished. We are no longer the government that we should be, that raises dissenting voices and voices all across the board.
Yep. You know, I mentioned that I was cutting the cord. I don't want any of the networks anymore. I've kept all of these networks simply to watch MSNBC. and now I can get the audio at least on Sirius. So I'm good with it. Now I'm just going to cut the cord, and we have a text here. Don't know the name, but mentions this. Hulu is ABC, Peacock is NBC, and Paramount is CBS. So
Paramount
when you
Plus,
when you try to cut off the major networks who gave Trump the oxygen to successfully win the presidency and are now bowing to the king, you also turn off a lot of the streaming shows. I should specify I'm keeping the streaming shows regardless of whether it's ABC, Disney. I'm still going to keep the streaming shows. I'm just cutting off the networks. Screw it. I mean, they can't say anything now anyway because the FCC has put a lid on what they can say and how far they can say it. So they're telling them what to think. I'm not going to be a part of that, and that's why I'm cutting the cord in all of that. And she mentions here that Netflix is a big winner here since it doesn't appear that it's affected by the FCC at all. So I love listening to you guys in civic media. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Talking with former U.S. Attorney Jim Santel, and I got a couple of minutes here. Jim, you sent us a little bit of information about the Mangione situation, the charges against him, and where does that case stand?
Sure.
So switch
again,
gears here, but
exactly that he is not going to trial. We all know. Again, we hasten to add because we still do have some allegiance to the rule of law in this program and in others. We hasten to add that he is innocent until proven guilty. That has been our American way, even though the Attorney General from time to time says things about people that certainly suggest that she does not believe that. But basically, again, a little bit of news in the midst of everything else going on here, that the judge who's overseeing that case, his name is Gregory Carro, Carro. He said that a portion, not surprisingly, a portion of the charges charging Mangione with terrorism, again, in the assassination of United Healthcare's chief executive on the streets of New York last year, that is too much, and that under the New York law and other principles there, initially, probably, I think people agree with this, probably overcharged. That's not to say he is not facing these charges and did not do this, but probably the right thing to do. The judge saying that it's legally insufficient and you think about it, even just aside from the law, this is probably not terrorism. It certainly was intentional murder here, but he still does face second-degree murder, and you might say, well, gee, second degree. All has to do with things involving lawyers and the way that the New York law is put together. Those cases will proceed. He is still facing a sentence of 25 years to life in prison. So it is a very, very small victory, if you will, for the defense, but doesn't mean a lot in terms of the overall prosecution of this man. Again, we assume he is innocent and proven guilty, but a very strong case, obviously, against him. And a question, again, about what his disposition will be. The other big news that's out there is that the 22-year-old suspect, also the defendant in the murder of Charlie Kirk, has also been charged, and a tranche of evidence was released showing what he did and did not say, and including some things that prompt the prosecutors there to charge him with aggravated murder, also seeking there the death penalty. And again, as we know under the Eighth Amendment, the Supreme Court has said that the death penalty, if states want to do it, is not cruel and unusual punishment. They look to things that Robinson said, like, I had enough of his, meaning Kirk's hatred, and then aggravated murder and some related felonies charged in that. None of that surprising, but again, premised upon a bit more information that's now in the public domain. That's called discovery in the matter. It also proceeds apace, and again, all but confessing to that shooting, based upon the things that the investigators and law enforcement have found. So just some updates that, again, have taken wildly. I mean, in other circumstances, those kinds of things would be at top of the newspaper headlines, right?
Yeah.
It's just we've got so many other things, right?
We haven't even talked about Kash Patel yet.
No,
right?
No.
Before
but you know,
the
Kash
committee.
Patel doesn't seem to be connected at all to the FBI. He doesn't care. You know, as you're watching him, it is just embarrassing to watch. It is. He's not paying attention, and he's just, you know, off the hand commenting to the politicians who are quizzing him, who know so much more about the FBI than he does.
Right, and has ever known, right? And it's also established by a president who likewise, you know, former presidents, Republican, Democratic, they always got these briefing books. You'd see them leaving along the portico there and heading up to the residence at night with these big notebooks to read for the following day. Again, we have a presidency, we have an administration right now where you can, in fact, say anything. You don't have to study. You don't have to do your homework, not only at the White House, but also these other agencies where you simply say things. You take your cues from a boss who doesn't care about finding out about the very agency for which you're responsible. That's okay for Donald Trump and in here and all other agencies, but the FBI, chief federal law enforcement entity. They're in Wisconsin. They are in every place in the nation. They used to be focused not only upon serious crime, but also terrorism. Leadership means something, and without that kind of direction and somebody who's informed, we all once again suffer in ways big and small.
All right, we'll talk more after this break.
Stay with us, 7:48, coming right back with John and Gordy on WMDX.
All right. I want to get to some of the cases that are before the Supreme Court. Do you have anything on that at all?
I was just sending you a note about exactly that.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
We are thinking in the same
Exactly.
again.
By the way, you know, I wanted to bring up, but kind of ran past, and it really didn't have much to do with having you as our guest. But Van Orden is withholding funds. He wants to withhold funds from any community, any organization that has an employee who is celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, which is just, I just, you know, it's beyond words. It truly is beyond words.
Yeah, where do you begin?
Where do you go with that?
Right.
Yeah.
And again, same concepts. We don't look. It's called being content neutral. That's the First Amendment. You can limit time, place, and manner of communication, but you can't limit content. And again, unless you're advocating for violence, it's permissible, right? And
it is.
There's some right.
Yes.
We still have
and a congressman doesn't understand that. He's representing us in the end. 435 people out of 343 million people, 435 of them are representing us, and he's one of them, as are others who also don't get this at all.
Yes. Not at all. No. Not at all. I mean, we've been putting up with neo-Nazis saying whatever the hell they want for the last 80 years.
Right.
You know, I mean, because of the First Amendment. Now, all of a sudden, the whole thing has changed because it's attacking them. They're worried about it. They're insecure. All right.
We let neo-Nazis protest and gather in Skokie, Illinois. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to get to CJ. We're going to... What's happening?
Is he still there?
You're still on. Okay, you're still on.
Okay, we're going to put him on.
Right.
Any idea what he's going to say?
I hope he has something for us. Can we fit it in?
Not yet, but you can actually you can talk to them about that. You can, for sure.
Ask him general topic. That's all I want to know. He doesn't have to.
What is he talking about?
What's he talking about?
The survey from yesterday.
What survey?
Okay, you're thinking about talking about the survey, right?
Oh, it's a poll. It's just a survey. Yeah.
Oh.
Nah.
Okay.
No, we really can't do it.
He wants us to also talk about Colbert losing the money as well. If you want to talk about that.
Okay.
Losing money?
Losing money.
Stephen Colbert, he's losing $60 million. That's what he said.
I don't know anything
heard
about
that
that
story.
I don't know anything about that. Let's go to. I don't want to do anything.
No.
Okay.
Breaking rocks in a hot sun. I fought for law and a law won. I fought for law and a law won. I needed money 'cause I had none. I fought for law and a law won. I fought for
WMDX, it's John and Gordy. We're trying to, sound a little more positive, but there's
so much.
There's so much
news
that we can't do that.
It's hard to get to all of it. It's 7:52. At least we've got sunshine over Madison right now. Highs.
And Jim Santel gives us some hope, the legal hope that's out there.
That's right. Former
Jim?
U.S. Attorney
Like
Jim Santel.
At the Supreme Court level, tell us we've got hope there.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
And you know, again, to populate that even more, we've talked about this before, so your listeners have some reason to go forward here on a Thursday morning. There are some guardrails. And where are those guardrails? We've talked about them before. There are federal district court judges and appeals court judges, not the Supreme Court, but those judges, again, lifetime tenure, federal district court judges around the country who are pushing back and saying, no, you can't do these things. Almost with unanimity, they're pushing back on what the president is doing. And the other interesting thing that's out there, we don't have a lot of reporting on this, but the other guardrail that's out there, federal grand juries are telling this administration, no, we're not going to indict these people without probable cause. They're telling the attorney general and assistant U.S. attorneys, I guess, at least in 2 districts, that we are not going to go ahead and charge people when, in fact, the evidence and our sense of justice does not support that. That's a guardrail that people should be very, very focused on. Both of those are constitutional issues. Federal district court judges, guardrails, and of course the capacity that you still all have on going forward here, including the many things happening on October 18th, to go out there and protest. You've got that right. You've got that right to be an advocate in the public domain. Again, limitations on time, place, and manner of protest. You can't do it in the middle of the expressway at 2 o'clock in the morning, those kinds of things. But all those things are reasons to still embrace pushback on these kinds of fronts in other areas. And that's not to minimize them at all, simply to say that Americans do still have those powers, and they're being exercised inside government. Grand juries are entities of the court. Federal district court judges, also entities of the court. Not the Supreme Court, but other areas that people should embrace.
Mm-hmm. Jim, so the Supreme Court is back in 18 days. Big cases on the docket,
right?
Like tariffs.
What about the
other
shadow
things?
docket? I mean, can they do anything before they get back together in 18 days? Can they go to the shadow docket and just throw stuff out there?
We've got an excess of 20 of these, and they've continued over the summertime, even though the merits docket is what we're talking about, going back in business on 18 days. They continue to issue all of these, including what we talked about last week, which is, of course, this one-sentence order saying that the district court judge in Los Angeles, who says you got to have reasonable suspicion before you can detain or arrest somebody in America, Supreme Court said, nope, we're vacating that. That happened again just, 11 days or so ago. So they will continue to do these things. Could happen this afternoon. That they do with breakneck speed and with great numbers on a regular basis. This is when they reconvene with a new term. This will be the 2025-2026 term. There are excess of 30 cases already. And again, some reasons to be concerned there. Among other things, remember the word Calais, C-A-L-A-I-S. That's this major voting rights case coming out of Louisiana. They had it on their docket last term. They decided not to decide it. It's back. And it has to do with line drawing on congressional districts in Louisiana. But there's this specter that they may in fact be playing around with whether or not the Voting Rights Act itself is constitutional or not. 1965, we've been operating under the Voting Rights Act, ensuring people of color and language have access to the polls.
Right.
The chopping block may have the Voting Rights Act on it. In this case, again, they probably wouldn't issue it until June of next year. Stunning case. There are religious cases, campaign finance cases. Yes, transgender women in sports. That's there as well. All kinds of things on the docket. Big ticket items, and they're still populating. And I suspect that many of these shadow docket cases, as the lower courts resolve them, will eventually get onto the merits docket, where you're going to have the opportunity to argue cases and have briefs submitted. But lots of this term promises to be no less significant than the last two, in which the Supreme Court said the president has great powers, and oh, by the way, you can't stop him with nationwide injunctions.
Well, I have a question. The SAVE Act is back out there. The House is voting on the SAVE Act that requires a birth certificate in order to vote, to keep immigrants and anyone else from voting in national and local elections, which doesn't happen now anyway, but they're going to do this. And the only reason I think they're doing this is because it affects women's right to vote.
Sure,
because their names change later on, and this will prevent a lot of women from being able to vote. That's the only impetus for doing something like this that I can think of. What do you say about something like this?
I think that's right. Purely, and also purely politics. Just to send you this message that the United States Congress is wrestling with this major issue about people who are improperly voting. It doesn't exist in America. We know that. So it's messaging. As to the other thing, the reason why this is, an awful lot of people think this is also, just with due respect, a stupid thing to do. With respect to women, obviously, it applies to all women who may have changed their name after marriage. And my guess is there are an awful lot of Republicans and Democrats and independents who may fall in that category. You're drawing a very, very broad category of people and presumably preventing or restricting them in voting. Women across the board could be the people who would vote for you as well. It's a fascinating and, again, stumbling thing for the Congress to be playing with.
It is. I want to thank Oscar. Also, he texted us. He said, I canceled my Disney Plus.
Okay.
Good job, man.
All right. We have to leave it there. Jim Santel, thank you for joining us. You can listen to Jim every Saturday morning, 9 to 11 a.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
We don't talk to you enough, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. Well, appreciate it.
It's always a delight, always an honor, even these difficult times, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Well, defend us in court, okay? I think we're probably
we'll do just that.
Tomorrow on the show, we'll welcome in Savannah Tomei Olson, also Pam Yankee, and Rocker with Maxine Preview. Madison Night Market tonight, right next to the Overture Center. Have a great day. Stephanie Miller's next.
The John and Gordy Show.
Hey.
What a show. What a show. Wow, we got a lot in there, Jim.
Yeah, we got a lot in.